Jenny's heart skipped a beat as she saw the flashing red and blue lights appear in her rearview mirror. What could she have possibly done wrong? "I was just driving normally, not even speeding," Jenny mumbled. Maybe just some random checkup, she thought, and calmly pulled over to the side of the deserted rural road. As the officer approached, a bright light shone through the driver's side window. Jenny winced as the bright beam from the officer's flashlight suddenly flooded the interior of her car. Unsuspecting of what was to come, she rolled down the window. "License and registration," the officer demanded, his tone sharp. Jenny complied, offering a polite smile, one that had often smoothed over minor issues in the past. However, this time was different. Her usual charm, which had frequently been her ticket out of trouble, seemed to be ineffective. As she watched the officer thoroughly scrutinize her from head to toe, she couldn't shake the feeling that it might even work to her disadvantage this time, and minutes later, as she would discover the reason, the sense of foreboding grew. This was bad, really bad. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. "I clocked you swerving back there, ma'am. Have you been drinking tonight?" The officer's flashlight beam was intense, shining directly into her face. "No, sir, I haven't been drinking," Jenny replied. "I was just a bit distracted adjusting the radio." "Sorry, it won't happen again." She offered the warmest smile she could muster. Usually, this smile worked wonders for her. It had charmed many men before, and she had relied on it often. But this time, the situation was different. The officer seemed unconvinced, not returning her friendly demeanor. He checked her documents with such intensity that Jenny's nerves began to fray. What was going on? Jenny's heart continued to race as she watched the officer's every move. The night air felt heavy, and the isolated stretch of road seemed more desolate than ever. The officer's questioning tone, the way he followed her every move, it all felt so disproportionate to a simple traffic stop. Suddenly, his gaze shifted from her to the back of her car. "Ma'am, I'm going to need you to open your trunk," he said, his voice carrying an air of authority that left little room for argument. Jenny's mind raced. What could he possibly be looking for? She had nothing to hide, yet the request felt invasive and unwarranted. "Is something wrong, officer?" Jenny asked, her voice trying to stay calm. She knew stories of small misunderstandings getting out of hand and didn't want to start any trouble. She thought staying polite might keep things calm, but the situation was about to take a different turn. The officer paused, casting a quick glance around them. He leaned in a bit, making sure Jenny was alone in the car. The officer's breath reeked of stale coffee and cigarettes as he leaned toward her window. The acrid smell mingled with the whiff of oil and rubber from the traffic stop. Then, in a low, firm voice, he instructed, "Ma'am, please step out and open your trunk." His forehead was visibly tensed, the vein there standing out, adding a serious edge to his command. As the officer peered into her car, Jenny's thoughts raced back to her history lessons, to times when authority was misused, when people were judged without evidence. She never imagined she'd find herself in a situation that mirrored those historical injustices she discussed in her classroom. Jenny had always been fascinated by history, drawn to the tales of people and events that shaped the world. Her job as a high school history teacher was more than just a profession. It was a calling. She loved igniting the spark of curiosity in her students, encouraging them to delve into the past to understand the present. Her classroom was a haven of lively discussions and debates, where she challenged her students to think critically and empathize with the historical figures they studied. As Jenny stood there at the side of the road, her mind raced through the lesson plans sitting on the passenger seat. She had stayed late after school, as usual, reviewing replica artifacts for tomorrow's lesson on the civil rights era. History was her calling. Her grandfather had marched with Dr. King, and she'd spent a lifetime turning his stories into lessons for her students. None of that prepared her for what came next. "Ma'am, step out and open your trunk." The officer's voice left no room for argument. Jenny's mind raced. Did she have rights here? Could she refuse? She tried to stall. She asked him questions, complimented his vigilance, anything to buy time. It didn't work. His patience snapped. "Get out of the vehicle and open the trunk, now," he shouted, spit flying from his mouth. She tried one last card. "Do you have probable cause to search my vehicle?" she asked, voice shaking. Wrong move. His eyes flashed with something close to rage. He grabbed her arm hard and yanked. "Get out of the car now!" And here's where it gets truly unbelievable. The officer suddenly bolted back to his patrol car. Jenny watched, confused, until she realized what he was doing. He was disabling his own dashcam, on purpose. Her stomach dropped. This was bad, really bad. She tried to start her engine and escape. It sputtered, refused. She was trapped, alone, on a dark road with an officer who had just erased his own oversight. So she did the only thing she could think of. She pulled out her phone, and she started recording. Moments later, he yanked open her door and gripped her arm, hard. Jenny screamed, but the phone kept rolling, capturing every second. She stepped out, shaking, and walked to the trunk. Inside sat her teaching props, fake coins, scrolls, a replica flintlock pistol, the kind of thing she used every semester to bring history alive for 10th graders. The officer's eyes lit up, not with relief, with something else. "Is that a real weapon?" he demanded. Jenny explained. Replicas, teaching aids, signed museum release forms right there in the trunk. He wasn't listening. He'd already decided. "These must be quite valuable," he said. "How does someone like you come across such expensive items? Think about that for a second. A history teacher, doing her job, suddenly accused of theft, even smuggling, because of props from a classroom lesson." He reached for his handcuffs. Jenny protested, demanded a supervisor, insisted she had rights. It didn't matter. He forced her into the back of his patrol car. The door locked, the cage sealed her in. "You're going to regret this," he said, watching her in the rearview mirror. The radio crackled, muffled codes. Somewhere far off, a siren wailed and faded into the dark. Jenny sat frozen in the cage of the back seat, her phone still recording, tucked where he couldn't see it. As they drove, her mind spiraled. She remembered a recent news story, a museum robbery, ancient artifacts stolen. Could he really believe her lesson props were connected to that? It sounded absurd, but nothing about tonight had made sense. At the station, the officer walked in like a hero, chest-puffed, grinning. "Look what we've got here," he announced, holding up her bag of replicas. Other officers gathered. One clapped him on the back. "Catching a thief red-handed," he said, eyeing Jenny with suspicion. Jenny stood there, humiliated, surrounded by strangers who'd already decided she was guilty. How does a night like this happen to a history teacher? In the interrogation room, 3 officers sat across from her, arms crossed, unmoved. She explained, again, teacher, replicas, classroom. Still, they didn't believe a word. Then she remembered her secret weapon. "I have a video," she said. "It shows everything." The room went silent as the footage played. The aggression, the dash cam, deliberately switched off. Her calm, consistent explanations ignored again and again. And just to be sure, she pulled up her email, assignments from her students addressed to their teacher. Proof, undeniable, of exactly who she was. The senior officer's face changed completely. "Miss Jenny, we're sorry," he said. "A grave mistake has been made." The arresting officer was escorted out. Word of an internal investigation spread through the room. And Jenny, exhausted, vindicated, shaking, finally let herself cry. The senior officer drove her back to her car himself. "We'll make sure you're safe," he told her. She had walked into that traffic stop as an ordinary woman on an ordinary night. She walked out having proven, with nothing but a hidden phone and a little courage, that the truth doesn't stay buried forever. The incident with Jenny quickly became the talk of the town, resonating deeply within the local community and her classroom. Her students were abuzz with conversations as soon as she walked in. "Miss Jenny, we heard about what happened to you," a student named Miguel said, his eyes wide with concern and curiosity. "Is it true that you were wrongly accused by the police?" Jenny nodded, taking this as an opportunity to turn her ordeal into a teachable moment. "Yes, it's true, but it's important to remember the role of evidence and knowing your rights," she explained, her voice steady but filled with emotion. The students listened intently, hanging on, her every word. In the faculty lounge, her colleagues were equally engrossed in discussions about the incident. "It's just shocking, Jenny," her colleague Maria said, shaking her head in disbelief. "It really makes you think about how crucial accountability is in law enforcement." "Yes," Jenny agreed, sipping her coffee. "It's a stark reminder of why integrity and proper conduct are essential at every level of the system. Even outside the school, at local cafes and community centers, people whispered about the incident. Did you hear about that history teacher? The police almost got it very wrong, people would say, a mixture of shock and relief in their voices." Jenny's experience spurred heated discussions on social media as well, with hashtags about police accountability and the power of recording devices in such situations. The community began to rally around the idea of more transparent law enforcement practices. Through all these conversations, Jenny's story became more than just a local incident. It evolved into a powerful narrative about the importance of understanding and asserting one's rights, and how evidence can be a critical tool in seeking justice. Jenny's ordeal resonated with many, serving as a reminder of the continuous need for vigilance and integrity in all aspects of society. For Jenny, the ordeal was more than just a frightening encounter, it was a reaffirmation of her belief in truth and justice. She returned to her classroom with a new perspective, ready to share her experience with her students, not just as a history lesson, but as a lesson in life.